Hello and welcome to another Star Citizen podcast. It is Monday the 27th of April 2026. I am BoredGamer. I'm here with Zinnia. Say hello, Zinnia.
Hello, Zinnia.
Today in the podcast, we'll be talking a little tiny bit about Alpha 4.7.2 that's gone live, which has been pushed a little bit to the wayside just because Alpha 4.8 is in EVOCATI, should be going to Wave 1 soon, ? The latest update for that patch, they actually got a couple of patches out over the weekend. They added command modules, they added vehicle snapshots, we'll be talking about that. Brian Chambers, one of my favourite people at CIG, has left the company. So I want to talk a bit about that and what he said. And we have the Fleet Week DefenseCon teasers and spoilers, some of the new ships that we haven't previously mentioned that I want to talk to Zin about. How you doing, Zin?
I'm all right, mate. How are you?
Good. I blew my blew fuse last night with my toaster, so I've had to buy a new toaster. Anytime I've got to flip switches on the fuse board, it's always a panicked situation of what if the house is on fire? Or what if the electrics don't come back on? But that's just my paranoia, I suppose. I went to a farmer's market on the weekend as well.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Was it good?
Yeah, I got some good coffee. I spent far too much money. I love farmer's markets. And I go when I'm hungry, because when you're hungry, you're able to detect deliciousness more. And everything that I smelt was delicious, so I had a little bit of everything. It was very, very good. Got some pies in the fridge. I got some, not brioche, focaccia. Oh yeah, it was some cheeses and lots of different hot sauces. It was a great day. Zin.
Yes.
Alpha 4.7.2 has gone live. It went live last week. And it's been pushed a little bit to the wayside because it has a load of mission updates, and that's pretty much it. I say pretty much it. So they've added some missions to Nyx, but also to Stanton. Courier and cargo missions sort of expanded out. There's some paid salvage missions. There's some eliminate ship bounties. There's ship wave attack missions, and they've re-added the bombing runs to Stanton, and that's cool. I think most people are waiting 4.8 now. What do you think? Do you think, actually, there's probably loads of people that are really enjoying that new stuff in 4.7.2? Or do you think, actually, people are probably just waiting for 4.8 in Fleet Week?
I mean, people are probably more likely waiting for 4.8. Like, 4.7.2 it's not a major patch, so...
No, but it's nice to have some extra stuff every few weeks in our live cycle. I like the patch cadence of a major patch every 2 months, and then just lots of little bits every few weeks. So like new ships, new missions, events. It's cool. I think it works for CIG. I think they've got a formula that's workable and reliable for the most part. But when you've got 4.8 EVOCATI about to go to Wave 1, and there's so much cool stuff in that, people are keen to get in. And with 4.8, CIG were expecting to, I was expecting CIG to get it to Wave 1 over the weekend. That was the plan from them. They had some issues with the builds. They were trying to get command modules in. They were trying to get item recovery updates in. And they did eventually, but they didn't go to Wave 1 PTU still. That's likely to be very soon, today or tomorrow. I think I said the same thing last week with Wave 1 PTU. That 4.8 patch, though, is pretty meaty, full of features. I think, obviously, you've got tactical strike groups, which are the main meat and potatoes there. But you've also got the new Xenothreat missions and things like that. In the last couple of patches, they added the vehicle command modules that work with the Caterpillar. These are pretty cool, Zin. Mm-hmm. You can detach it from the Caterpillar, and then you can fly around in your own little command module ship. And the Caterpillar is waiting to something to dock with it. And then you can dock with the Caterpillar. And there's a little docking procedure with it. It seems to work pretty well. It's, I think, right Alt-N. They've differentiated left Alt-N and right Alt-N. One's for landing and one's for docking. This is weird. When I'm in-game, I know it. When I'm not in-game, I've lost my muscle memory for it. Or my knowledge of it. But you sort of dock onto the ship and it tells you in the MFDs, you're docking together. You can't do much. You can't even disengage that docking procedure once it's started. And it's only for like a few seconds. But then you've got operational control over the full ship. And it's cool because the same command module is going to be used for the Ironclads in Fleet Week, or at Fleet Week as part of 4.8. What do you think of those? Do you think, this is a really important part of the game because it allows them to have ships like the Endeavour or modular ships that are made up of multiple parts that can detach, like maybe even escape pods? Or are you like, it's just a bit of tech for a couple of ships?
Yeah, I don't quite see the point of them. but that's me.
Well, no, I mean, they could have had ships where they didn't require command modules at all and just had the cockpit hardwired, right? Is it just because they wanted to have something a bit different for these, and actually, that's cool, but maybe the juice isn't worth the squeeze?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, we'll have to see if people actually make efficient use of them.
Yeah, and if they lead to a load of other cool stuff, because if they are essential for escape pods and some other stuff, they're like, oh yeah, that's great. Oh yeah, the battle bridge on the 890 jump, and if there's a load of cool stuff that comes out from this, awesome. Maybe it's integral for having modular chop shop ships like with the Grey's Market stuff. Maybe they can have a load more ships that are just stuck together with loads of stuff on. Because obviously they did relatively recently go, look, we can have, like with the Aurora Mark IIs, we can have a modular part of the ship that adds new components and weapons. Also, the other thing was they have snapshots, or the actual name of the feature is Item Recovery Vehicle Loadouts. They added last night. This is a step towards Item Recovery Tier 1. It's just a little update towards that, and allows for the snapshotting of vehicles via the ASOP terminal. So you can snapshot a customized ship or vehicle, and then when you come to reclaim that, you can reclaim the default version or the snapshot version, and you will claim the snapshot version at a higher price, basically.
I assume it'll just be the cost of everything. You just don't have to go around and put it all together.
Well, I think it is. It's certainly a much higher price. I'm not sure if it is the combined cost of all the items. It might be. I would expect it to be.
Yeah.
I've not done the maths on it. But it's in testing at the moment, so that it's likely to change, so that it's probably going to be that, or maybe they're going to go for a system where you prepay insurance. I don't know. I like the lack of faff around stuff, though, so going, I can snapshot my ship, I can reclaim that ship without having to go and get all the bits again, great. Some of the other stuff that I want to note, at the moment, it doesn't work with crafted items. So if you crafted a component or whatever and put it on your ship, that doesn't work.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense, right? It doesn't work with consumables or ammo. Part of this is because when you claim an item back, it bricks the originals after a little grace period, which I think is like 5 minutes at the moment.
Okay.
Bricking them, you can still like salvage them or whatever, technically, but this will stop duping so that you can't dupe a load of PDCs that you couldn't get in other ways, or you can't dupe a load of really powerful weapons. So it will brick the originals, which is part of Item Recovery Tier 1, but steps towards that. What are your thoughts on that? You're like, yeah, that's cool. I didn't really want people exploiting. Some people were doing it in a more wholesome way, shall we say, but obviously they don't want it to happen at all. What's your thoughts on?
I mean, yeah, like, I don't think duping should happen at all. Like, that's not something that is good for the game.
Yes. Especially at scale. I know some people are going to say, oh, what are duping in certain situations? Well, eventually, whatever, we don't want duping in any situation. Without it, you shouldn't be able to dupe anything. You should be able to pay to get the item. And if you want multiples of the item, you pay to get multiples of the item. But duping, effectively, what we're talking about is exploiting the insurance system to be able to copy items. We don't want that. We don't want you to be able to copy Jalonite or items you can pick up. I was about to say how people did that, but I don't really want to, even though I think they fixed it fully now. Feel free to say, but what I want to test this stuff. Test that stuff in an EVOCATI or a tech preview patch. That would be my suggestion. Yeah, 4.8, full of really cool features. Really excited for it. Obviously, you've got Fleet Week and stuff that will be coming soon as well. Well, let's talk about Fleet Week, actually, before we talk about Brian Chambers leaving CIG. So, Fleet Week, there was a little Twitter video, an X video, that had a in-game, in-law broadcast talking to the Drake CEO, saying the people that run Fleet Week, the UEE, whatever, they've gone back to Sol for reasons. And Drake have stepped in and basically, instead of doing a Fleet Week, they're doing a Drake Defense Con, but everyone's invited. It is functionally a Fleet Week in the Stanton system still, but it's branded under Drake Defense Con. What do you think about that?
So I've been trying to remember the lore on the Fleet Week stuff, because so there'll be one main one, and that'll generally travel around the different systems. Like each year it'll be at a different system, but other people put on like their own mini ones if it's not there.
So I get confused between the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo and Fleet Week for that sort of section of lore, because they travel around and have multiple. There's like the major one, and then there's the ones that people put on. But I think one of the things with this is I like the fact that Drake traditionally hadn't been getting invited to Fleet Week, but now they've taken it over effectively for this one, in Stanton. We do know it's going to be between the 14th and 27th of May, or at least that's what it appears to be, because there was some footage that CIG put out, their teased footage. It's going to be at Area 18 ArcCorp. If you want to know loads about different spoilers and stuff, go watch my dedicated video on that. What do you think about this as a way of getting out teasers? Like doing a little Twitter video like this?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, I wouldn't say it was a teaser, it's just more of information, really.
Yeah. But it's an interesting way of doing it because you need to analyse it, right, to get the information from it. Because you could see, and we'll talk about this in a second, you could see some of the names of the ships on the little map that they had if you really enhanced it. What?
Enhanced video.
What did you think about the reference to them going back to Sol? So the reason I say that is because anytime CIG have mentioned that before, it's a major studio thing or a Squadron 42 thing that then happens. That might be coincidental.
I would not have made that connection at all.
Okay. They may reference Sol for other reasons.
I mean, Sol is essentially the heart of the UEE, so...
Yes. The reason I think that they're mentioning the Sol system and that Fleet Week has effectively gone to the Sol system, leaving Drake to fill the void in Stanton, is because they're going to announce the battle cruiser in a teaser video saying, this is what we saw at Fleet Week in Sol, that they're showing off that new battle cruiser. Obviously, it's not going to be straight to flyball, it's going to be concept. So I want to talk about some of the ship spoilers. Well, we'll talk about the battle cruiser, we had mentioned it before. It's the Anvil Odin, and that's about all we know about it. Obviously, Squadron 42, Odin system, there's some parallels there.
Mm-hmm. And obviously he mentioned it in the video as well.
Yes. Some other ship spoilers that we saw from that video, if you enhance the map of the hull, is, and we've had a sneak peek of this in the newsletter, I believe, there's the Misk Starlight. So the caption for this in the sneak peek is "Fill her up." And I'll prefix this as well. There's new refueling updates and improvements and missions in 4.8. Little refueler, little Babbo refueler.
Yeah, little refueler.
The sneak peek that Zin was just looking at there, it is just a seat of a Misk ship.
Oh, I'm getting annoyed with those. Oh, have a seat.
It's like my stream. I know you don't watch my stream a huge amount, but you turn up at a point in my stream. There's just a chair there often. I don't walk out on my stream much. So yeah, little refueling ship, cool, makes sense because there's refueling beacons and you want NPCs to be able to use this ship. You don't want to keep on calling in Starfarers, although the Starfarers should be getting all the refueling updates as well. Also got the Aegis Tiburon. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Now, what do you think that is, Sin?
I think that's a Hammerhead variant.
What? Why do you think that?
Because I had to Google this, because I'm like, what the hell's a tiburon?
It's a Spanish word for shark.
It's a Spanish word for shark.
So it is probably a shark with a laser beam on its head, because that's what Jared had referenced relatively recently. That's what we're expecting. We're expecting, and the gold standard for the hammerhead is in 4.8 as well. And I had said a little while ago that almost certainly means a variant is coming because of the timings and stuff. And obviously the mentioned it was teased a lot. I'm expecting a beam weapon anti-medium/large ship version of the hammerhead. We'll have to wait and see if that is the case. It might be an entirely different hull. It might just be a modular. I would expect it to be its own hull because it's not the hammerhead Tiburon. It's like the Valkyrie compared to the other one. What's the
Asgard?
Thank you. Tell us what you think about that in the comments below. We also appear to have a Drake Pitbull.
That's such a great name for a Drake ship.
Yes, it is. I was like, it might be a small little fighter or whatever, like a Buccaneer. But as it's the name of a ground animal, it's more likely to be a Drake ground vehicle that's quite small with some weapons on it. Maybe like a mule with some guns. What do you think? What do you think a Pitbull's going to be in game? A ship?
Yeah,
a vehicle?
Thing is, I don't want to make like Pitbull owners angry because like a lot of people
because they've got Pitbulls.
Well, no. So people will generally go, oh, Pitbull, they're like aggressive dogs. But then you'll get Pitbull owners who are like, oh, no, they're lovely dogs. It's bad owners and it is bad owners that make bad dogs.
Well, that's what Drake would say about their ships, isn't it?
Yep.
Bad owners
make it's true.
Drink ships bad. Yeah, what do you think? Ground vehicle?
Yeah, probably.
Combat ground vehicle, yeah?
Maybe.
Or no, actually, it's just a really friendly, loving ground vehicle. It just gives hugs and licks.
Plays fetch.
Plays fetch. Perfect. Well, tell us what you think about the Drake Pitbull, the Tiburon, and the Starlight in the comments below. There are others that could turn up, ship and vehicle-wise. There are mentions of people that they're like, well, actually, I think the Javelin's going to turn up. And it's possible. And we had the Idris turning up last year, though I am thinking that the Javelin is more likely to turn up when Squadron goes live. Well, let's talk a little bit about this then, actually.
Okay.
This is a segue. Brian Chambers is leaving or has left CIG. Brian Chambers, one of my favourite people at CIG. I'm as upset as when Jeremiah Lee left, who is also I absolutely love. Brian said, after 11 amazing years at CIG, it's time for me to take a step aside and watch from the sidelines, from starting a new studio in Frankfurt to helping run a dev team of 800 plus across 5 separate time zones. It's been both challenging and incredibly rewarding. Time for an overdue break, then I'll determine what's next. Let me know if anyone has any cool projects they want help with, a new studio they want to start, or Octothorpe, Star Citizen. Hashtag Star Citizen. From what I understand, he's just been there for ages and he's moving on. He was primarily focused in the last few years on Squadron 42, and in my opinion, he's not the type to leave until he's completed a project. And doesn't seem to be any love lost there. It does seem to be just he wanted to change, he's moving on, or whatever. What are your thoughts on that immediately, Sind? Like, what's your feels on that?
Well, my immediate thoughts are, and this is me, this is not like what I expect other people to do or be like, is if I'm in a good job that I enjoy, I don't just go, I'm bored now, I'm going to go find something new. But that's me. Yes,
that is you. So I'd always describe Sin as one of the best employees as a worker that you could have, where she's happy if you want her in a particular role, she's just going to get better at that role and just stay in that role and be quite happy doing that and getting better. Rather than go, I need to go and move on in 5 years to another company. No, you don't want to lose that experience. And I think that's a big shame for CIG, losing Brian Chambers, because I think he was, at the time of his leaving, Vice President or VP of Development, which is a big encompassing title which touches the whole project, pretty much everything. It was mostly focused on Squadron 42. I'm trying to think if it was entirely focused on Squadron 42, but it's at least mostly. Do you think there's concerns about him leaving the project, or can we just not know?
I don't know. I'd like to think that there is no one person that the whole project hinges on.
Not even Chris.
Not even Chris.
Cool. That's good. I also hope the same thing, right?
I think the only thing that would happen if Chris gave it up, which I don't think he will, is that it might lose scope.
Yeah, it might actually release.
But what I was going to say is that there has been reading Reddit posts and whatnot, but there has been speculation about why he might have left. I'm not going to go into it because it's more personal in nature. People are welcome to chat about what they are. I don't think here is the right place to do it.
Oh, okay.
However, I do hope it is just him wanting to do something new, fresh lease on life or whatever, and that it's not a sign of bad things for CIG.
Yes. I would hope not. I do have a good amount of friends at CIG that I do get told stuff by, and I have not been given any warning signs. But I always think it's a little bit of concern when someone big leaves. As Zin says, I don't think even if Chris left the project for some reason, I think the vision has already been imparted now, right? And they're moving towards something. I do think people like Aaron are incredibly important for making stuff happen. And I would have actually put Brian in that camp as well. I do think Brian is a great force for good for Star Citizen. I think it's also possible that he's pretty much done with his work on Squadron 42 for the most part. I think that it is quite possible that Squadron 42 release is imminent. Hopefully that's the case. But yeah, he was always a good dude. Always enjoyed chatting to him at events. He'd turn up to loads of them. To the Bar Citizens, to Brits Cons, to Citizen Cons, all those sort of things. I think he'd been working on Squadron 42 since 2019 sort of time as his primary focus. But tell us what you think about that in the comments below. Do you have any other thoughts on that, Sin? You're
No, that was it, really.
Yeah, I think it's a shame. I like Brian, and I wish him all the best in the future. I do think that you're going to get turnover of people over a decade or two with Star Citizen now, right? Like even some of the higher level people, some of them are getting to the end of their careers. Some of them are moving into CEO or C-suite positions and things like that. I always think it's a shame when someone like Brian, they haven't released the product he spent a huge amount of time on.
Yeah.
I know we have Star Citizen as a live service, basically. But it's just a shame that Squadron's not released, and then he's gone, bam, Squadron's released, now I'm going. But I mean, it could be an indicator of it about to be, maybe, ? Are you still expecting Squadron 42 to release this year, Zin?
Again, until they say something otherwise, yeah.
I mean, the updated Squadron page says 2026 still, so there's been lots of interesting things happening with Squadron 42 stuff. Like now on the Robert Space Industries page, I think, if you go into shop and all products, you can now see Squadron 42 in the game section of all products. I'm just about to click on that. I think it just takes me to the web. It just takes me to the Squadron 42 updated page. Launches 2026. But yeah, should be getting Alpha 4.8 to Wave 1 shortly, and then more waves pretty rapidly after that this week. When are you expecting 4.8 live? Are you expecting it to coincide with Fleet Week, the sort of 14th of May time, or earlier in May, or a few days before Fleet Week? What do you think CIG's release rationale might be there?
I think they want to try and get it out sooner, like in the next week or two. But I do think that they shouldn't rush it. Like, the delays that they've had are obviously there for a reason. Yeah.
Totally agree. It's important to get out a stable and the best possible experience for 4.8 and Fleet Week, because it's one of the busiest times of the year, if not the busiest time of year for CIG, both in sales and in activity. That free fly is going to bring a lot of new people to the game, and if Star Citizen is broken and they can't log on and everything is imploding, that's not a great look. But if it's in a relatively good state or a great state, that's a lot of people that are going to be spending a lot more money and are going to be watching the project just before like Squadron 42 releases, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, tell us what you think in the comments below, whether it be cool stuff about Fleet Week and what you're excited for and other ships that you think might turn up, or you're sad that Brian's leaving, or if you're concerned about that. Are you really, really loving Alpha 4.7.2 and you're like, no, there's loads of people playing this and it's really, really good fun? Or are you someone that's waiting for 4.8 to go to Wave 1 and then live and you're like, yeah, I'll be playing Star Citizen again during Fleet Week? Tell us in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Zin!
Yes.
Why would people want a Tobii Eye Tracker 5?
Oh, because it gives you...
Yeah. Accessibility, security, and privacy on the internet. No, that's not what a Tobii Eye Tracker 5 does. It natively supported head and eye tracking in Star Citizen. Do you have a Tobii Eye Tracker 5, Zin?
I do have a Tobii Eye Tracker 5.
Do you think that other people would like Tobii Eye Tracker 5 with 15% off?
I think they would like a Tobii Eye Tracker 5 with 15% off until... what is it? When is it?
Tomorrow at 3 p.m.
Tomorrow?
UTC.
Oh, get in there quick.
Get in there quick if you want one. Although Tobii do have sales a few times throughout the year, so bear that in mind. Yeah.
But use the links below.
Use the links below, because you will get that discount and it helps out the channel. And there's things like NordVPN and all that sort of jazz down below as well, if you are interested. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a great day. Say goodbye, Zin.
Goodbye, Zin.
Perfect. That was a podcast. I'm BoredGamer. That was Zin. Star Citizen.